These are super important. If you want to do a lot of damage, I had no idea about these on my first account. Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Leah. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite games ever, Genshin Impact. I've been having a lot of fun with Genshin. I've been streaming it. I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays on twitch.tv/LeahSudeno. And I've been having such a great time, and I wanted to give some tips for people who are just starting out, because I feel like a lot of the information I was consuming when I first started playing Genshin just felt so overwhelming, and there was so much statistics and like math, and girl, I'm an art student, okay? So I'm gonna go through and like the most simple way I can explain some key aspects of Genshin that I think will really help new players. Little disclaimer, if you're like really good at Genshin, that's great. I'm like really happy for you and really proud of you. Proud of you. That's awesome. However, this video is probably not for you. This is very basic information. This is for people who are just starting out, or people like me that like had another account that didn't really know what they were doing on it and then started a new account, and now they kind of like want to learn, or they finally got back to the old account. Whatever, you get the deal, right? It's very new. It's Genshin 101, okay? And maybe you're in like 404, and that's okay, all right? This video is not on your level yet. But if you have any tips that you'd like to leave down below in the comments, I'd greatly appreciate that. Maybe you can help some people out, or even me, because I'm still learning. All that being said, let's just get into the video, because we have a lot of information to get through today, and I have a lot to teach you. I'm the teacher. I'm sorry. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is character. So your character stats and your level up, which is in Genshin called the Ascension. So let's take a look at one of my characters. Okay, so here's one of my favorite characters to play, Zhao. I love Zhao. He is a king. We stan. All right. And I'm gonna go a little bit over his stats. Again, we're not gonna get too stat heavy, because if you really want to break down, like going character by character, there are a lot of videos on it. I recommend watching YouTube videos on it. But I'm going to give you like kind of like a brief overview of like what the stats are, what they mean. I'm going to do my best. Okay. So we have his max HP there. Obviously that's like just his HP, his health. The higher it is, the longer you take to kill, you know. For certain characters, their HP, like for example, Barbara, her HP really matters, because when you go into her talents, you'll see here that it scales a lot off of her HP. So the higher her HP is, the more effective her talents are. Here you can see it here, right? For Shining Miracle, here's your own party members and nearby teammates for a large amount of HP. That scales with Barbara's max HP, right? So whatever you have for her max HP here, and I believe if you had a weapon for her that had HP, for example, as a main stat, that would make her talent more effective, her Shining Miracle, which heals people. But now that we're in talents, let's talk about talents a little bit, right? I'll go back to Zhao for this. Here are your talents. I have his leveled up quite a bit. And so it'll kind of just tell you exactly what the talents are. These are often overlooked, right? They're right here. These are super important. If you want to do a lot of damage, I had no idea about these on my first account. I don't think I leveled up a single talent. I had no idea what they were. I thought it was just an overview of what he could do. I didn't know you could level them up. I know. You're cringing. You're like, Leah, what? But for real, like, I really didn't know. But like with Zhao, he scales off crit damage, but also animo damage is really helpful for him. So crit damage and animo damage are going to be really helpful for him when you do his artifacts, which we'll get into later. But right now we want to focus just on character stats, right? So we're looking at like all of the talents. You want to kind of see which ones do you use the most, right? Do you use his burst? Do you use his E on PC? I'm talking about, you know what I mean. What are you using the most? Level those up first. I would say whatever you use the most and you want to do a lot of damage, but do not ignore these talents, okay? And then when you go to level up these talents, you'll actually see that you have materials that you need. Now Zhao's pretty far along, so these are pretty advanced materials. But you'll need like this kind of little talent pamphlet. You'll need these slime concentrates, and you'll need this from a boss battle, right? This is pretty far along for my Zhao. He's pretty high up there. The max you can go for talents is 15, so he's getting there. But let's use Amber, for example. I don't have any of her talents leveled up because it's Amber. But, right, if I go to, oh, I can't even level her up because I have to ascend her. Well, okay, great. That took me too long. We're going to use Lisa as an example. But if you want to go to level up Lisa's talents, right, I need these books here and these slimes. Pretty easy to get. You get these by killing slimes. And then these you can do through domains, which don't worry, we're going to talk all about domains later. But basically, you can level up your talents here. This is going to make your characters way more powerful. And like I said, I didn't know this existed until I kind of started playing on this account. Back to the kind of basics with your character. When you go to attributes, you can ascend your character or level them up. As you can see right here, it makes a big difference. You're going to get his crit rate to go to 70.2%. His attack goes up. His defense goes up. His HP goes up. You don't really need to level to 90. A lot of people don't. So I'll use Barbara as an example. But you can kind of see her HP is going up, which is good because remember her talent scales off her HP. So this is really good. And also you're going to unlock a new talent called Encore. Right, so leveling up your characters, you can unlock new talents, and then you're going to increase their base stats, which is overall going to make you more powerful. Now my girl's singing. All right, Barbara, we out of here. But that's really what it is for your character. You might not be able to level up your character right now. For example, Zhao, for example, I can't level him up to 90 right now because I'm adventure rank 44 and I need to be adventure rank 50. So sometimes you're going to hit these walls and you're going to need to increase your adventure rank, which we'll also talk about later. I know there's a lot of stuff we're talking about later, but there's like so much information that I kind of want to just give a brief summary of each thing, and then they'll add on to each other. Basically, they'll complement each other, everything we're going to be talking about. But yeah, and one thing I will mention also as well that people often forget is you can get free wishes now from leveling up your characters, which is very cool. They're the normal wishes, right? But you level them up the first time, you're going to get an Acquaint Fate. Second time you don't. Third time you do. Fourth time you don't. Fifth time you do, right? So, and you won't get it the last time, unfortunately. But make sure you're collecting these wishes. If there's like a little red little mark there that's like you need to do something, just click on it. Make sure you collected those wishes. I didn't know I could do that until like way down the line. And all my friends were like, Leah, what is wrong with you? And I was like, oh no, there's so much information. Another thing to kind of look at for your character is constellations. Listen, if you're getting a 5-star, unless you're spending a shit ton of money, you're not going to get constellations, right? I have one constellation for Zhao. You get constellations. Chongyun's a great example. I have a lot of Chongyun constellations. I have 4 of them. You get constellations by getting this character multiple times. So I got Chongyun once, which unlocked his character for me. And then I got him 4 more times after that, which got me to 4 of his constellations. And each constellation levels up an attack, gives you an additional attack, makes something stronger. It's a variation of things. If you want to like kind of max out a character, kind of look into it. I recommend kind of doing this with 4 stars when they're on a banner. Chongyun's on the Hu Tao banner right now, so it's easy for me to get these. And wishing on those, but I wouldn't really try if you're not going to be paying a lot of money for Genshin because this game can be really expensive. 5-star, I didn't try to get Zhao a constellation. It just happened. Don't go crazy over constellations. They can be great if you have them and definitely utilize them if you're getting a character all the time because they could really make a big difference with your character. But that's my brief overview of your characters and kind of what you want to look at. Again, play with who you want. You know, if you want to go meta, you can. Obviously, if you only want to focus on stats, but play with who you want and upgrade them based on, you know, what you want to do with them. But hopefully that helped you understand that a little bit better. We're going to move on to weapon stats and level up as well. Well, level up Ascension. So this is the weapon I have for Zhao. And I'm going to tell you why I use them. You're like, how do I pick a weapon? Okay. I picked this spear for Zhao because it generates elemental particles. There's a 60% chance during crit hits that it'll generate elemental particles, which will regenerate 6 energy for the character. And this can occur every 12 seconds. The reason I picked this was because I use Zhao's burst a lot. And so the more elemental particles you get, the more energy recharge you get for your powers, right? So this is great because it allows me to recharge his energy faster so I can kind of spam his burst. So that's why I picked this one. It's not the best spear for him, but it's what I have for now that works. And also you can see that energy recharge goes up, which is great. That's what I want for him. I want his energy to be recharging fast so we can spam his ult. And then we have his base attack here that shows you that stat. And this is a 4-star weapon. There's different obviously tiers of weapons, just like different tiers of characters. But this is it right here. And then you can level it up. Really the same thing for characters, right? You just need to collect these materials, which again, I'll go into more detail about later. You can also refine your weapons, which you can see it will change it from 60 to 70% and from 12 seconds to 10.5 seconds. If I had an identical weapon, if I had another one of these, I could refine it. So refining is really good. If you have a lot of duplicates of a weapon that you like, refine it and put it on someone because it's going to make a big difference. But yeah, I hope that was a good description. If you guys have questions about weapons, leave them down below. I also want to talk about broken weapons. So I've just started kind of hearing about this lately in some videos I've been watching about Genshin. Basically, from what I understand, there are some weapons that the translation is off, and so they don't actually do what they say they do. I don't know if that's going to get fixed, but I don't have any broken weapons. I don't think so, but that is something. So if you're hearing that being tossed around, it's like the translation's wrong or they don't really work like they're supposed to. I just dropped my light remote. But yes, and so just putting that out there. Now on to artifacts. Artifacts are the most confusing part of the game for me. So I'm going to explain them in the simplest way I can. This is not going to be super in-depth, but I'm going to try my best to kind of just like give you the rundown on what artifacts are, because goddamn are they confusing for people who haven't played a game like Genshin before. All right, so artifacts can add additional stats basically to your character. I was talking earlier about how Xiao scaled off of crit rate, so additional crit rate is good for him, right? So like when I see a crit rate stat like this, I'm like, oh, that's really, really good. Don't look at these artifacts and think that they're the best, because they're definitely not. But I'm just kind of using them as the example. So that's what artifacts do. They kind of add stats that can make your characters more powerful. That's kind of the basics of artifacts. Then we get into these things right here. When you have a 2-piece or 4-piece set of certain artifacts, because they have sets, you can kind of see and organize them here by set. You can get a bonus, right? So I said earlier, Xiao has animo damage, and an animo damage bonus is really good for him. So I've been really grinding to get the viridescent, is that how you say it? Viridescent set. Because now that I have this and I have the feather, which are from the same set, I get a 15% animo damage bonus on Xiao. These are different for a lot of characters. They're all different kind of sets, have their own different bonuses. For Diona, I have the Maiden Beloved set on her. I think I have a 4-piece, so her healing is increased. So that's kind of how you would look at that. You want to make sure that the stats here are good, and if this kind of set pieces, you want to kind of organize them so you get the most out of artifacts for your character. And I would just say, in general, this is general, some characters you want HP and defense stats for. In general, people don't like that. You're going to want to go with attack, crit rate, crit damage when it comes to stuff. HP for the flower, like they're all HP. But for certain stats, like Elemental Mastery is not really that good either. So like defense, HP, Elemental Mastery aren't the best for most characters. However, someone like Barbara, for example, does really good with HP artifacts because she scales off of HP. So that's my understanding of artifacts. If you have any like corrections or better like tips, and please leave them in the comments. I'd love to know. Just for anything really. If you are like, oh, I think that this is actually the better way to do it, comment it down below because you're gonna help all of us. But when it comes to artifacts, also you can enhance these as well. This is maxed out because your 5 stars go to 20, but let's go to a 4-star we have right here. And as you can see right here, you can kind of, let's say I was gonna add, I don't have any artifacts to add, but let's say for an example, you want to go up a level. It's going to bring that HP up, for example. And I think every time you hit like level 4, it upgrades another stat. So just keep an eye out on that and try to go for good artifacts that upgrade what you want them to upgrade. Again, artifacts are the most complicated part of Genshin for me. So definitely, like, if you really want to go hard with the artifacts, like, definitely research them a lot because there's so much information out there. But that's the general consensus for artifacts. But how do you get artifacts? How do you get talent level up materials? How do you get character level up materials? Like, how are you getting all of these things? Well, let me tell you. You're going to go into your adventurer handbook. Now, so during the main storyline, you're going to get a quest called Welcome to the Adventurers Guild. And you're going to do the quest and you'll get this adventurer handbook. All right. And so we're going to kind of skip over this for right now. So during the main storyline, you're going to do a world quest called Welcome to the Adventure Guild. And once you complete that quest, you're going to get the Adventurer's Handbook. This is really, really just a great resource in general. The Adventure Handbook has a lot of stuff. So you can kind of do these challenges. I'll go back to like the first one, right? You can kind of do these things, right? It's going to bring your adventure rank up if you just do these like simple things, and you can get 50 primos for free. You can get an artifact, you can get some talent books, not talent books, some XP books and some more, right? And you just keep going. They get more difficult as you progress, but this is a really good way to kind of get some materials and primos. It's really awesome. Like right now, once I finish upgrading my 5-star artifacts, I'm going to get 150 primos. I'm going to get new artifacts, some XP, all of that stuff. So the adventure handbook's good for that. You can access your commissions through here once you start doing your adventure commissions. But what I want to talk about is domains here. Now these are the domains for today. They change daily, all right? And you can see what days they are when you go to your characters and click on the item that you need. But right now, see, it's telling me Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, I can get this. And so if I complete this domain in this challenge, I can get some of these depending what level I do it at. So you can get some materials that way, which you're really going to want to grind on. And you can also get different artifacts. The one that I've been grinding a lot is Valley of Remembrance, because that's where you get the Viridescent Veneer set. And that's the one I want to use for Zhao. So I definitely recommend grinding these and using your resin, which is right here. Resin is, people don't really like resin right now. We don't get a lot of resin. It's like, it costs like 20 per domain, depending, to collect your rewards, 20 resin. And so you can kind of run out of it fast, but that's what you'd use your resin for. So I would make sure that you're doing domains daily so you're not wasting any resin, because it replenishes itself. But for artifacts, I recommend waiting till later in the game to kind of grind for artifacts. Even right now, we really shouldn't be grinding for artifacts. I should wait till I'm 45, because then you're guaranteed better artifacts at adventure rank 45. But if you really want to, you can. But this is really what I would focus on in the beginning, is getting these level up materials that you need for each one of your characters. So I would definitely look into that if you're interested in leveling up. One thing that you might struggle with if you really want to do like the higher level domain that you have unlocked, but it's really hard for you, it's like you can't beat it. Well, you can go into co-op, which I'm going to show you right now. So if you're adventure rank 16, I think it is, to unlock co-op, you should have this option when you go to start the domain. So I'm just going to go here. This is a random domain I just picked. But so level 80 is for this challenge, right? But I don't really, let's say I have like level 70 characters, but I have this unlocked. You can click match right here and it'll match you with someone else, other people who are trying to do it. Usually you'll get a group of 4 people. I'm not going to go through with it. Sometimes it'll bring people to your world and then you can all fight it together. And a lot of the times you can have other people really help out and like carry. And I think it's a really good way to do domains that are a little bit too difficult. So I highly recommend doing co-op for domains if you want to get the higher level rewards, but don't really have the characters to carry you right now. Going back to the Adventurer's Handbook, it's also really good for getting enemy materials, which you'll also need for different characters leveling up, and even weapons. So this is great. It'll show you like big boss enemies, like the hypothesis, the cryo-regressive. So like I'll need some of these cryo-regispine. I need some of these for Shang Yun, for example, and it'll tell you all the rewards. There are certain bosses like this one that you can only do every so often, but it's also good for like lower level ones as well. Like for Diona, I need a lot of these arrowheads, and it's great because I can just navigate to a Hilichurl shooter and it'll show me exactly where on the map I can go to find one. You can also use Genshin interactive maps. I'll leave one down below, and you can find enemies that way as well, because eventually it'll make you wait like 3 hours for some reason because it says that they're respawning. They're not. There's plenty of them. The game just doesn't want to, like, for some reason, let you find them all the time. So once you kind of max this out, I'll just go to an interactive map and try to find the places that they spawn. But that's how you get the enemy materials. You can collect the materials from them to upgrade your characters. Another thing that I was sleeping on when I was playing Genshin before was the battle pass. Now I already maxed out my battle pass, but when it comes to your battle pass, you don't have to pay for the battle pass. You get this top row of the battle pass completely for free. All you need to do is look at, I can claim these right now. It doesn't really matter because I have the max level, but right, I can claim these, and every 1,000 points you get from the battle pass, these guys right here, every 1,000 of those you unlock, it's either 1,000 or 1,500, but you unlock a new level of the battle pass. So you can get these, you can keep leveling up, and if you really grind it, you can get some free wishes. I like to get the Gnostic Hymn. I think it was like $10 if you go to unlock it. Yeah, I think it was $10 that I paid for that. And you can unlock additional stuff too. I would recommend doing that after you've maxed it out, because you can buy it after the fact and then you can collect all of those rewards. But you can go up to level 50. So this is something you can do every day. You get things from logging in. It gives you some challenges that you can do. So definitely look through this. Look at all this stuff that I've collected, all these BP points that I can redeem. So definitely look at that and try to get those done, because you get a bunch of free rewards from that. Another thing that I didn't really understand when I first started was a statue of 7, which we're going to teleport to one right now. I was like, I don't even understand what they do. Like, what is the point? So statues of 7, when you go and you offer animoculi to them, or geoculi, whichever one, it actually increases your stamina level. As you can see, you get your stamina plus 8. You can get 400 adventure XP from it. You can get some primo gems, some sigils to spend at the local shops, and just like certain items. And so you can offer, I'm not going to have enough to increase it anytime soon, but you can offer the Geoculus or Animoculus if you're going to the one in Mondstadt that you collect to kind of get these rewards. It's a really nice way to get, again, more free stuff in the game and also up your stamina. I would recommend definitely doing these in the beginning of the game, because it'll really up your stamina. I can't speak today. Also, I recommend using a Genshin interactive map for this as well. And I recommend doing that before you even start collecting any Animocula and Geoculi, if you can, because I'm like just making up words at this point. I feel like I say everything wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. You can actually like see all of the ones on the map, and then you can mark some of the ones that you get. I think you might have to pay to do like a bunch of markings, but you have a specific amount of markings for free and you can mark which ones you get. It's so much easier that way. I wish I did it, because now there's like a bunch of Geoculus and Animoculus. I have no idea where it is, and it takes a lot longer. So in the beginning of the game, I would definitely recommend doing that. But Animoculus and Geoculus also will appear on your map, usually in your mini map. I don't know if I don't even know if you can see it here, but it'll be like a little star. I'll put a picture of it on the screen on your map. That's usually an Animoculus or Geoculus that you can go and grab. But as you can see, you can also make pins on the map as well. So like I've marked like chests that I couldn't open because of a glitch or something. I've marked where Animoculus are supposed to be. To make a pin, just go here. You can click one of the icons, and then you can just be like, you can just type something here. I think on PS4 it might be a little more complicated than that. And then there it is, and you can navigate to it. Super simple. Definitely recommend doing that to find things, Animoculus, all that fun stuff. Let's talk about wishing. All right, wishing is a fun thing to do. also can kind of suck sometimes. So what is wishing? Wishing is how you get new characters. You can also get new weapons, right? Wishing is how you kind of do it. How do you get the characters you want? It's random. Okay, good luck getting the characters you want. I'll kind of go through a way you can kind of get the characters you want, maybe, but it's kind of all over the place. To get wishes, you have to collect primo gems. You can get this from chests or like the adventure book that we were talking about earlier, but these are my primos up here. You can also buy them, but it's like basically it ends up becoming like $2 per wish, which I think is kind of ridiculous. So I bought like $15 worth of primos once to wish, and it was so not worth it. So don't recommend buying them unless you have a lot of money to spend on them. But so I just mainly do free to play, with the exception of certain little purchases like the battle pass here and there. So one thing you might hear a lot is when people talk about pity. All right, so let's talk about the probability, right? So every 10 wishes, you're guaranteed to get at least one 4-star or higher character or weapon. So that's every 10 wishes. But I don't recommend doing 10 pulls. You don't have to. I thought you had to do 10 pulls to benefit from this. You don't. You can pull 10 of the 1 pulls and it's fine. It's the same probability. So don't worry about that. I recommend doing them one at a time, because then you don't waste all 10 wishes. If you get someone earlier on, you can just kind of stop at them and go to a different banner or do whatever you need to do. I would also say that when it comes to pity, I believe it's every 80 wishes you get soft pity, and then 90 is hard pity, I believe. So like, and what that means is like you'll get the 5-star character. That's a lot of wishes. Okay, that is so many wishes. And I'll put like a graphic up here that describes pity a little bit better and kind of goes through it. And basically you can kind of figure out if you're gonna hit pity when you go to your history. You can check here and you can basically count from the last time you've had a 5-star, right? So I got Kaching 3 pages ago. And then if you want to do a rough estimate, right, it's 6 items per page. So basically 18 wishes ago, I got Kaching. So I'm nowhere near pity. So I don't know if I'm going to get venti on this next banner. But that's how you can kind of see if you're getting near pity. So that's really what pity is for wishing. People ask a lot, like, should I wish on weapons? I don't recommend it. You can get characters on the weapon banner. It's like less likely though. If you really want weapons and you have like all the characters you want, like sure, but if you want new characters, I find new characters to be more exciting, so I would just stick to the special event banner. For banners like this, right, there's a 50% chance the 5-star you get will be Hu Tao, and there's a 50% chance that the 4-star you get will be one of these 3. So that's how those things work as well. You can also wish on the normal banner if you'd like to. Some people like to wait for these so they kind of know who they're going to get, but sometimes the normal banner is fun too. Let's also talk about expeditions. Expeditions are another thing. We're going to head over to the Adventurers Guild in Mondstadt. You can do it in Leeway as well. Another thing that I would sleep on, which you should do expeditions, because they can really help you get materials that you need. Now, it's not going to be any fun level up materials or anything like that. So don't get too excited, but it's totally free to do. You just send characters out. Like I have Barbara exploring right now, and I do the 20 hours. Like I send them out for the 20-hour one. I can't do it right now because I have my limit. And then she'll bring back 8 to 12 of each one of these things, right? I have Kaya going to get the sweet flowers and the bird eggs. Bennett's getting some carrots and stuff. I'm focusing a lot on food right now for cooking, which we'll talk about next. I can send up to 5 characters. It increases how many characters you can do based on your adventure rank. But I recommend if you need Mora, send someone out for Mora, right? If you need more mining stuff, send someone out for that. Totally free. And it doesn't even matter anymore what characters you send out. It used to be that if you send out a character, you can't play with them anymore. They changed that. You can send out anyone. Certain characters have like buffs, like Chong Yun, for example. I think he takes a percentage less time if you send him on an expedition in Leeway. Same with Kaching. So look at your character bonuses. They'll show up when you go to select them. But look at those. And yeah, definitely do some expeditions. They're free. You should be, if you're logging on, you should do this every day. Sometimes I forget, but you should just do it every day. It's just, you're just getting free materials basically, and you don't have to do any of the work for them. It's just kind of throw them out there and they go do it. Now, I mentioned that I had those girls and guys sent out to get food because you should cook. All right. I want to show you where I just went. I went here to Sarah, good hunter, my girl, and I went to cook here. You can also do this on like campfires across the map, and sometimes you have to light them up with pyro. I digress. Cook, 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 cook. Get recipes, buy the recipes. You can buy them from the restaurants. Sometimes you can obtain them by talking to NPCs. Just get all the recipes you can, really, because you can do, like, you can restore your HP mid-battle. This is mostly helpful in single player, but mid-battle, you can just pause, restore HP for a character. Some of them, like this one, let me see, which one is it? Oh, it might be over here. For the shrimp, it restores some of the HP, and then every 5 seconds for 30 seconds, it restores even more HP, right? And so definitely get food, right? You can up your crit rate for like a period of time. In the frozen area, you can decrease the rate of sheer cold. Like all of these stats, look at your food, cook some damn food, all right? Don't let that food just sit in those like ingredients just sit in your inventory. Like cook the food and use it. It's super helpful when the game starts to get a bit harder and you have to fight harder bosses and stuff. So I definitely recommend food. I love food. I have one of my friends who never cooks food. I'm like, girlie, what is you doing? Cook the food. And when you go to cook food, I'm gonna try and find one that I'm not proficient in. Once you're proficient in them, you can just auto cook it. But for a little bit, let me see if there's one that I can cook that I'm not proficient in already. All right, great. We're gonna do the cream stew, right? I'm not proficient in it yet, so I have to cook it manually. And all I have to do is press the stop button when it gets to the center. All right. And then certain characters, it's telling me to switch, because if I use Barbara as the character cooking, I might get a special dish. So let's see. Let's see if we get a special dish. We did not. But basically you can do this until you max it out. You get the proficiency all the way. Beautiful. Wonderful. So now we have automatic cooking unlocked. So now I can cook it automatically. I don't have to do anything. I just wait for it to be done. So there you go. We didn't get special dish from Barbara, but sometimes you can get special dishes. So make sure you select a character, because sometimes you can get some fun bonuses. I also recommend, just in general, picking up random items that you see around. You're gonna see a lot of mint, a lot of all those things that sparkle in the grass. Dude, pick them up, because you might need them to level up a character. Like, for example, Zhao has these flowers that you need to level him up right here that you can only find in the heights of stone forests. And there's certain areas you can find. Again, this is where an interactive map really, really helps. Again, I'm gonna link it down below. But all this random shit, okay? Sometimes they just need like the most random stuff to like upgrade. Like he needs Coral Lapis, right? And that's a pain to mine, all right? So if you come across it, just take it, just take it, just take it. Your inventory is not gonna get full, okay? You have so much inventory space. Just take it. You're gonna need everything that you see, all right? I didn't write this down on my list of what I want to talk to you guys about today, but when I was cooking, I realized I didn't talk about crafting. So I want to talk about crafting because this is also really confusing. All right. Use this crafting table. Okay. You're going to want to make level up materials for your characters. Okay. You're going to need them. And sometimes you don't get them from the bosses, but like, I can get a bunch of these little ones. I can turn them into these big ones, and then I can turn these big ones into these bigger ones. And then eventually, once I unlock them, I can turn those bigger ones into something like this, right? So you want to do this because you need these to upgrade your characters. Same with like the slime secretions, the arrows, all of this stuff. Like you can combine every 3 of them makes the next level up. I know that's not like the best, like most in-depth description of it, but you'll see once you look at like something that your character needs. Like let's look at Zhao real quick. Right, when I go to ascend him, I click here. It tells me, oh, this is dropped by level 75 animal hypotheses, but it can also be crafted, right? So if I have a bunch of materials, I can just craft it. I don't have to fight the animal hypotheses. That's a level 75 plus, all right? So definitely don't sleep on crafting. It's essential. And I did not do it on my other account at all. It's like, I did not really touch it. I know this video was like a lot of information at once, so if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I would love to like respond. I'm gonna try to respond to all the comments that I can. I'm not the Genshin expert, all right? I don't know absolutely everything about Genshin. I want to, I would love to, but there's so much information. I hope this is like a good base for you to get started and for you to start learning more and have a general understanding of what everyone's talking about when they talk about the more specific stuff in Genshin. And you can say, oh, I know a little bit about that. That's really what I wanted this video to be. And if you have any tips, please leave them down below. Even for me, like, I love to learn more about Genshin. There's just so much information, like I said, so definitely tell me what you know, and leave some tips for other people as well. Help out each other in the comments, all right? Ask some questions. Let's like get a dialogue going, because sometimes I'm like, damn, I don't know what I'm doing. You can also come ask me these questions live on stream. I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. EST, and I stream Genshin. And on Thursdays, actually, I do domains with viewers. So if you need any help with a domain, come hang out on Thursday. Come chat, hang out, and join the queue so we can all do domains together, and I can carry you, or maybe you'll carry me. You'll probably carry me. You can feel free to follow me on my socials in the meantime, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks again for watching. Peace.